Right. Here we are, people. Iris of our eye, number 13. Lucky number 13. I was trying to save it for this one guest, but it didn't work out. I'm not trying to force that shit with the universe. I'm still the host, Icon Ebb and Flow. Today I'm sitting down with, I know he has Moses Portal, but I don't think it's
Mose Portal.
Mose Portal.
Single S, yeah.
Oh, single S. See, I don't even know.
Named after Mose Allison, famous jazz musician.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you play jazz?
I don't, but I do play flute and a little bit of violin, but let's just say flute for now.
Let's just say flute. Okay. Strong start. We are at a part of Regal Park that I've never been to. It is 4:21. We started recording at 4:20. It was 4:20 yesterday. I didn't smoke weed. I was actually 4 months sober on 4:20.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That felt good. From weed. To celebrate, I fucking took a little bit of mushrooms, which I was like, I should have said that at stand up today, but I didn't. But I totally forgot. I was so like, ugh. But whatever. We're here doing the podcast today. I met Mose.
Got it.
I'm gonna keep saying that, but I'm gonna get a rehash
Think
in my brain.
Mose, but with an M. There you go.
Easy.
Oh yeah.
I met Mose. Technically, this is actually the first time we're meeting, but our mutual friend put us in contact. His name is Sam. Eventually, hopefully, he'll be on the podcast. He's also a musician, and that's kind of how this is unfolding, happening in real time. To my knowledge, this beautiful guy makes music. I listen to Pizza Party.
Oh, nice.
And one other one. I can't remember the other one, but I definitely
Ice Cream Social, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
And I liked it. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is fucking my kind of weird. Trying to like collect as many cool people as I can and like just do cool stuff, shit like this.
Oh yeah, it's all about the fun.
Yeah. So any other thing that you want to start with as the introductory piece of introducing yourself to like the 26 subscribers I got on YouTube, or however many people are listening on all the other platforms?
Mose Portal.
Is that your actual last name?
It isn't, but I just go with it just because it's so close. It's near similar that I've been going with it since I was like.
Yeah, I'm not a cop. I don't need to fucking worry about it.
Yeah.
I'll put the fucking ticket or whatever. So.
Yeah, it's just I just figured, I already have a unique first name, and it's so close to Portal that I'll just go with it. So Mose Portal just kind of worked out, and
send it.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah.
Cool.
Otherwise, I'm a conscious hip hop musician kind of guy. I like to draw. I like watercolors, and I like digital art. I've been making all my album covers, and
oh shit, nice.
You can see by this one right here.
You know me. For the people. I'm gonna. Here it is, and then it's gonna. When I put the water bottle back, it's also gonna appear on the screen. But it's it's a skateboard pizza, dude. I thought that was great.
Yeah. I made that at my friend's house, and I had to get all the way out from Occidental to Monterey while it was still hot. You know, it's gonna look different when you have.
Oh shit! You actually made the pizza?
I made the pizza, and I put it on a skateboard and just like shaved the wood down so you wouldn't see any of it. So it kind of looks like a little bit of raised skateboard. But I had to get like the perfect shot, and I got it right in front of the Monterey Skate Park 3 block, which I had helped get there. That was another thing, is I'm active in the skating community too. So having a skateboard and just pizza, that's like, those are two huge parts of my life. I love skating and I love pizza, so I had to put it together because hot sauce and shoe goo is like goes with pizza and skating too. So
you're just fucking, at least you're staying like relatively within like a domain per se, but just like this like archetypal persona of what you got going on. Sometimes I feel like I spread myself out too thin. Like if you made a pizza too thin, it would just fall apart. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing that right now. Like I'm a writer, trying to become a shaman.
Shit, nice.
Yeah, it's fucking musician, comedian. But like, though I feel like those things are, though a bunch of those, except for maybe the writer, like those three things could be together pretty well.
They definitely could. And dude, the writing thing is gonna like help with all those things. It always accentuates it.
Yeah, just if I like more I like to describe myself if I could as a scribe of just like, sort of like this, where it's like a time capsule almost, where it's like I'm capturing the essence of like the actual truth of like the history of things as they're happening. But then there's also like I'm writing like gonna be putting out my first book in the summer, which is like 4 years in the making. So it's like
nice.
I'm not here. I always do this when I like talk about myself when I'm trying to like interview another person. So
no, that's all. It's because it's also I wanted to know more about you too, because I was like, oh wait, I don't really know much about you. I got to glimpse into your podcast, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to see what you're interested in, so I get like a little bit of it. But no, it's good. I need to know more about you, so that way the connection's there. That works.
Right. It's like self-conscious in a way, whereas like, but it's the natural just flow of like what we're talking about kind of has to just happen too.
It has to. Yeah. No, that's the
first
way.
time meeting you, and then I'm saying like, hey, don't talk over me, and I'm talking over you. Like,
no, I mean, hey, that's how it goes, baby. That's how it works.
All right, just gonna have fun editing it later.
But it's good to be kind of an all-terrain vehicle of you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, because also it's in your court. The ball is in your court with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I skate, I like video editing, I like music, I like producing the music, I like taking the samples from skate videos and then using that as drum samples for my songs.
Mm-hmm.
and like things like that. Oh, I really like the flute and I wish I could put a sample of that in a song. Fuck all that. I don't want a sample of that. I want to play the flute.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it in the song.
Yeah.
Like, let me learn how to play the flute so I can rap over that. Like, I always thought that would be way more, like, DIY and just get really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the best way to go because it's in your rules. No one has to, like, abide to you or, like, try to, like, manipulate what you're doing because it's all you. It's all independent.
No, definitely. That's so it, man. I watched this random video earlier today about Bo Burnham.
Oh, yeah.
And his whole, like, rise to stardom and how he did it like super young, and then like the guy like laid it out where he was saying that it was all intentionally done, where he started like kind of like childish slash not authentic, but like more of like fitting in that because he made the point that like his music didn't age well. Like one of them was like "Oh Bo," and which if you know the song, you know the song. I'm not even gonna play it because I'll probably get demonetized. It's like super like super edgy and like sexual, but like I thought that was like one of his like I love that song, but he's like no, it's this other one that's like the one that aged really well. And I was like whatever, bro, it's just your opinion. And the reason I'm even saying that is because the building blocks. He said that like the most recent thing that he made was like the capstone of his achievement, where he went from like this awkward teenage kid in his bedroom to making the videos on YouTube that like made him famous in the first place to like this actual like fully fledged artist that is now like trying to or did expose his like authentic honest opinion through his art in a way that like the joke was always on the audience, where they were kind of like seeing it as he was being like just like joking around, but he was always trying to be like, yeah, like this shit's fucked. Like the entertainment industry, it's all just about like selling shit through like making you confused through like false idols, essentially.
Yeah, I really do like that he puts like a philosophical spin onto his stuff, and it makes you think. That's the thing that makes it so nice with that guy, and I respect him a lot for that. Is you have to think, and there's a lot of things where it's just like, dude, I'll be real. My jokes are just like, oh, what's short but long? Schlong. And it's like, dude, they're stupid, but they're funny to me. And, you know, I wish that I could be more philosophical or more like detailed in how I put my jokes, or like, you know, being able to spin it back around. Like, that's always fun, and I respect that someone can do that because that's like intense writing. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely, it takes years to like refine it. And I've heard some people say this where it's like I can't remember who was complaining about the fact that like him and like Daniel Tosh like got famous from like the internet first and didn't have to like grind their way up through like open micing it.
Yeah.
But it's just when you're that talented, or when you make it or already have a following and then transition to other mediums, it's different. You're on a different, your spiral's different, your life path's different. Like you just did something that you got the attention first before you. Not to say you didn't have the skill in the first place, but you just didn't do it the way that everybody else did it. And, like, that's just uniqueness.
Yeah. Not to mention, I think it's almost easier because it feels like with those kinds of people, they feel like less of a plant. And that's when I'm always thinking, oh, yeah, what did you do? Like, I don't even know the fuck, like, Pete Davidson. Like, I don't really know much about that dude, but right. I hear his name, and now he's dating a Kardashian, and it's like,
wait, he's dating a Kardashian now? Wasn't he dating Megan Fox or whatever?
Yeah, which is another thing that's like, yeah, this is all industry plant shit. It's like, yeah, sure, it's not the most crazy thing. I've heard people talk about it before, but it's like, yeah, it's stuff like that is still, even if it's talked about commonly, it just feels like, yeah, that is still weird. And it's weird to think that there's some weird behind the scenes biz going on that I don't know. It's hard for many people to know, and we just have to just know that something's odd, and I don't want to go that way. It's almost like being independent and then getting big from that.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. If you can do it, it
Sure.
just sounds difficult.
No, it definitely isn't the easiest path to tread. Because if it was so easy, everyone would be doing it. I have this weird saying where it's like, if life was so easy, you'd go on living it forever. But like, you don't. Your days are numbered. Your time is 24 hours, sun up to sundown. You gotta sleep, on average, a third of that. So you got 8 hours where you gotta sell your time to some other person who's already got money and for doing whatever thing that you're working at in their dream machine. And then you gotta, like, in that 8 hours after you're done, if you're not got a family or got other responsibilities, then like you gotta fucking use that time to like build a podcast or like write a book or whatever thing that's you're gonna want to attach yourself to make it you're living the way that you want it on your terms as an independent artist.
That's what the scariest part is, thinking, oh, I'm just here serving somebody else. That's great. Sure, it really depends for me. I like the idea of, if I'm going to work for someone, I would like to work for someone that's, you know, a cool person. Like, I got to know that you're cool, or I got to know that you're like, it's win-win situation. If this isn't a win-win situation, or if you look down on me, or if you really think this is like, oh yeah, I'm getting one over on him, well then, fuck, those people shouldn't work for you. Like, I feel like I got enough self-respect to be like, no, but I don't really appreciate that. It's got to be like an actual good deal. Like, oh, if I'm getting paid a decent amount, it's like, well, yeah, I already got my life going on, and you're barely a part of it. You're just the person that pays me. Like, if that's the way it has to be, then that's the way I guess it has to be.
So it was this. We live in a society, like it's kind of like that energy of just there's either people who are born with a silver spoon, or they just come from people who are already in a higher tax bracket and had the money to give to their children so the kid could start a business, and then random people that they just hire to make sandals is the thing. Because I'm talking for myself now. Like, I don't like to say that the dude's my owner, but it's like he's renting 40 hours a week from me at whatever rate I'm getting paid, and it's just like I gotta do it until I don't gotta do it anymore. And like I do love that place, and I basically like half live there, half live out of the tour bus, but
that's stability.
Yes, it is.
To me.
It is. It is to me, yeah.
I mean, I grew up homeless, so that's why it's like, it's hard for me to be like the good mediator of what's stable and everything, because it's like, to me, that sounds like, yeah, it's like some nomad, some adventurous stuff, where other people would be like, oh, that just sounds like almost homeless. And it's like, no, it's not. It's living your life, and living your life in a way that doesn't have to be the same old cookie cutter living in the suburbs kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's definitely how I grew up. I'm trying to, definitely like live. I've just how we were talking about earlier about the universe like matching your energy, like living life on my terms, and like as long as because it'll send you the shit to test you. As long as you like make a commitment or to the decisions that you're like holding as like, these are the standards in my life that I'm going to live by. The more you live through it, the universe will just constantly be reinforcing the decisions to like, here's a thing to like, are you sure? Like, you got to make sure that the roof isn't leaking. Like, yeah, I did the thing to like, now it's not leaking anymore. Like, just, I mean, that's just a little tiny example, but
yeah, it's a lot of, oh, you either got to do it right now, or we're gonna prod your freaking ribs, dude. We're gonna fuck with you a little bit, but if you can you can get through this, then all right, you got yourself to where you are from like all that hard work. And that's the whole thing, is like having to stay patient through the prodding. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, dude, patience, it is a virtue. Wait, that shit will not hurt you. To quote one of my own fucking songs.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's a bar. It's I'm not great right now, but like, we'll start with that question. Do you aspire for greatness now that we've been riffing for however long?
Yeah. I feel like I'm proud of saying that, yeah, I do aspire for greatness, but at the same time, God, it hurts. It fucking doesn't feel the best all the time.
Oh my god.
Set high standards for myself, especially the more and more I grow. Like, at first, my first album, I get it, it's not the best, but I put a lot of heart into it, sure, and it was just wanted to put something out just to get started. And then after that, I was like, oh, synthwave album. I want to make all this and base it off of time and memory, nostalgia. And I was like, all right, I like that. Third album from last June 21st, 2023. I mean, I had already gone through like 2 years of trying to work on it, and then like slacking off, going through depression, and then getting out of it. So part of the songs were like about that. And then having to like pinpoint, try to, master it perfectly, because I also mix and master all my music. And now, oh God, I'm spending like more than like months on just one song at a time, and just like okay, wait, go back here. All right, and I need to take some of the high frequencies out of my voice here, because it's like cutting too much, and like, oh fuck, okay. And then going back and forth, because I'm like, if there's anything that sounds even remotely like nope, then I have to do something about it, because I just don't want to do the same thing I did before, and I want to be better every time. I want to be better. I don't have to always be better. Sometimes I'll make a fucking song that might suck, dude, and it's gonna happen. It's kind of like, oh, maybe I'll have a skate video that's great now. Maybe in a year I'll make a skate video that I'm proud of, that it wasn't up to snuff. So being the best person I can be and aspiring to do that is painful, but worth it very much.
Nice, man. I definitely resonate very deeply with that myself. Yeah, the whole thing about setting standards that are like, there's setting a standard for your life of like what you want, but then also just for air. You can't, like, if someone laid out like some crazy guitar piece for me to try to like shred on, I'd be like, I don't think my fingers can do that right now. But it's to set a arena to grow in, of like, it's got to be farther enough out of your comfort zone, but it's still attainable, that like you give yourself enough time to actually touch it. You can, then you're there, and then your comfort zone moves, and you've grown.
Yeah, exactly. I do this with kickflips all the time, which is silly. I always get in my head, I'm like, all right, I want to land the first kickflip of the day. Fuck doing the thing that everyone does. We all do it when we're trying to do kickflips. I get it. It's so hard not to. Is you don't flick it, or you just fuck it off and like hurt your ankle or something. So I'm always like, okay, envision it. Do the thing that you don't think is going to work for your body, and just force it to happen, and just land the first kickflip. And if you do, it's going to make the rest of your skate session better, in my opinion. That is just my opinion, but it definitely helps. Like, you got that muscle memory down already from like years and years of practice. Just do the first one of the day, and that sets the tone. It really does. See if you can do it slow, and then eventually you'll be able to do it because you've got the muscle memory, and it just goes from there on, and you can apply that to so many different things like skating and all that.
Yeah, it is. So it's so great, because I think principles, like successful principles or successful mentalities, will just push you or propel you forward in whatever area of your life you're working in. Is as long as you like develop them in one place first, everything after that just kind of like falls into this like habit of greatness, or habit of like excellence that you just develop as a person.
Oh yeah. It's just setting yourself up for a success, to where that becomes your like base mindset, and that is that's what I want, because sometimes I'll fall back into fear and like anxiety and stuff. I've always struggled with that, and I'm trying to get out of that. And I made a song off the Sauce and Shugu album that is called Mantras, and the whole entire song is about it's just I am loved, I am in control, I do what is good for my soul. And then just going off of that, nearly every lyric is like that, because I kept thinking, if you say it, then you start thinking it, and if you think it, you eventually be it. And lately, every time I'm getting anxious, or I'm feeling like bad or like scared for the future, I start kind of singing those lyrics to myself, or just like talking to them. And it's an actual mantra. It's not just a song, it's like an actual mantra, to where it's like, oh yeah, I am loved, I am in control. Like, maybe you say it out loud and you don't believe it, but someone said, no, you just keep repeating it, keep repeating that. And I was like, okay, I don't fucking believe it though. Well, eventually I did. And like every time I'd feel in doubt, it just actually works to keep repeating those positive things, because the negative things, oh man, I speak that shit into existence. And that is not good. So I really try to be careful with what I say in terms of negativity. And I think we all forget, we all fall, no one's perfect. And
right. I mean, kids fall 1,000 times before they learn how to walk, and then ever just like give up. They're like, it's walking, I'm just gonna like butt scoot forever, I'm not gonna do that. Like, everyone's like, well, eventually they see everybody else doing it, they're like, fuck it, everybody else can do it, like I should be able to do it, I can do this. Might be hard and weird, especially when your hips are all fucking, your baby bones aren't all fucking formed up, but you get there eventually. It's just like, it's a process. You're always growing, you're always evolving, unless you're like is the thing with like, especially with how we're talking about mentality, that if you have accepted where you are and you're not striving to like improve and being intentional with it, then it's just like you're basically already dead because you're not looking to learn anything else. Or I don't know, just something I notice about like people who are older than us, that just the older crowd is just like their minds like transmute between either like air, water, or fire into earth, and just get like crusty and like hard, and like they don't want to change their minds anymore.
I mean, that's the scariest thing, is that a mind, what was it, the quote? It was like, a mind closed off by belief is worse than a mind opened up by wonder. And I think that is pretty nice, but I mean, I understand certain things can be facts and everything, but also the universe is constantly changing, so it's hard to say that everything is factual. And it's like, oh no, things are actually like really crazy things are happening, and it's going to be weird when history kind of changes, or if history changes, because of new things that come up, or like, you know, different, like physics might become like, you know, gravity might go up not that extreme, but like, you know, you never know. Like, things are changing, and the universe is so vast that we're finding out more information and realizing, oh shit, well, what we thought was true isn't true anymore. Like, you know, we used to think cigarettes were good for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was propaganda.
That was propaganda, though. Like, I'm pretty sure people knew immediately, like, oh, this isn't anything that isn't oxygen. It's pretty fucking not good for you.
Yeah, Edward Bernays got them for hard with that one. They're like they're freedom torches or some shit. There was some.
Oh God.
I'll probably put the picture right here if I can find it, of this the imagery or the propaganda that he made for the cigarette industry of like how to get women to start smoking more, of like tying it in with the values that like American society at that time actually held near and dear. And like I just because of how successful those campaigns became and how he like literally wrote the book. It's called Propaganda. In that, there's a whole crazy quote, but I'm not gonna try to like say it because I don't know it exactly. But it's essentially that like the people that know how to know your psychology better than you use it to force you into situations through like Hegelian dialectics of like they create the solution and then create a problem so that your fear goes towards the solutions that they have already created or are trying to like lay out for humanity.
It's kind of like in certain movies I see like things like, oh, we created this illness, oh, but we have the vaccine, and it's like, well, wait, did you create the illness? Like, shit like that. It's always like, oh, that's always trippy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping when I'm old that I keep a mind open to new things, because I've seen a lot of people do that, and God bless my dad, he fucking always was like, oh, I want to try new things. He got sick of old school rock because he was like, it's the same old thing, 97.7, the rock, oh God, it's just playing the same old fucking music over and over again. I've heard that and grew up with it. I don't want to hear it anymore. I want to hear like, let me hear this like some dance music. Yeah, I want to hear Blue Tech and like Boards of Canada. And I was like, dude, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I like that too. And I was just like very stoked. So I want to adapt that, like, yeah, constant change. Don't go into your old habits, because then that's when you actually grow old. You'll stay young forever if you just don't accept oldness.
Yeah, the mindset of the old, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I guess actually it was so how you had said about your dad listening to the shit that he grew up on. What inspired you to become a musician? Or like what other musical influences would you say is like the reason you either started to make music, or like why did you start making music first, and then what influences were like your biggest influences growing up?
Well, it's kind of funny that I'd say, actually, I'll start off with, I went to Camp Winter Rainbow when I was like 13. You familiar with that? Wavy Gravy, the clown. Do you know Wavy Gravy? Oh. So he's like one of the more world-renowned clowns, except for like Bozo. I don't even know who Bozo is, but I've heard everyone knows like Bozo the Clown. Anyways, Wavy Gravy is a clown that was more of the hippy-dippy, tie-dye wearing clown, and really well known. He has Ben & Jerry's ice cream, Wavy Gravy. It was named after him.
Shit, okay. I'll take your word for it, dude. Is he from around here?
Yeah. He's I'm losing the name of the place. It's past Willits. It's he's got a summer camp. It's past Willits. The name is escaping me. I might remember it later. But Camp Winter Rainbow. I went there and they had a bunch of courses and everything, and you can take classes, and something stood out to me about poetry, and I was like, oh, I've always liked words, and sure, I'm into this. And then I realized, like, whoa, I'm making all these things rhyme, and like it's really entertaining. And I made this, I mean, sure, the rhymes were good, but it was like a really like more negative, braggadocious song that was very like just out of what you would say now is ego. It's very like battle rap kind of stuff. And my counselor, he was like, you know, man, I don't know, like these are good, but just so you know, I think you could do something more positive. And I was like, well, it was so sensitive too. I was like, oh, but it was good. And he was like, no, it is good, but like, come on, I think we could change that. Like, think about it. There's gonna be an audience of people, and there's, you know, you're a positive kid. Why not make something positive? And I did, and I realized, like, oh, I like this feeling. Yeah. This is nice. I want to continue this. And after that camp session, I decided to start making like more, just writing in books more when I was like 13, 14. And then when I got into high school, I was still writing, never got into making music. Like, I didn't know anything about music. I never thought I'd be a musician. And I remember thinking, because this was big at the time, hi-fi. Hi-fi music was big, and I don't know what the opposite of inspiration is, but it made me so angry because it was like basically talking about negativity and like just selling of like drugs. I've never done drugs. I've been sober my whole life, and I lost a lot of friends to it, either insane, dead. You know, that's what Ice Cream Social is about anyways. So I was like, I vowed, like, you know what? These guys are fucking whack with a lot of their lyrics. The whole lifestyle is bad. It's a fucking marketing gimmick for their own, like, you know. And on top of that, the beats aren't even that good. Fuck that. When I grow up, I'm gonna make something better. If I ever get into music, I'm gonna make sure it's gonna be my goal to make these beats better than them. And then eventually, I kind of got into it because Eli of the Living Legends. Have you heard of him?
No, I'm ignorant. I like to live under a rock, but now my rock rolls.
Hey, no, that's good. I think that's still good. I think that's having less just like inspiration from things kind of helps with like making your own genuine thing. So, because my biggest inspiration, I'd say, is Eli of the Living Legends. He is someone who produces his own music. It's all conscious. It's all positive, and I was really like astounded from that. And I thought, dude, if I'm so inspired from this and it makes me want to actually start making music, I think it'd be a great goal to become someone like how I was looks at me like how I looked at Eli, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Role model.
Yeah, like someone that you want to message online and be like, dude, you're the fucking man. You inspired me hella, man. I've been writing, I listen to all your songs, and it just gets me stoked because I was in a hard place, but dude, listen to your music. It's really good and makes me feel like I'm not alone. I want that. So, Eli, definite big influence, I'd say. Oh, Jason Crawford, he's like a brother to me. I grew up with him. I still skate with him to this day. But we also have a song together on the last album. It's Glitter from Gold. But yeah, that guy got me really like steady on making hip hop. But Outkast, RTJ, Boards of Canada, Machine Drum. Oh, Lyrics Born for sure. Really good funkadelic, like funky ass, like Asian rapper that he's been doing it for years. My very first rap album that I ever listened to was Lyrics Born. It's just super creative, super fun, and like cool sounding, like really positive stuff, along with some more like fun stuff. Like he's just like a braggadocious songs too. Like he's got plenty of those, but he's skilled and he is self-made, and it's just inspiring. Like he does music with his mom or his sister, or no, not his sister or his mom. His wife. Okay. It's just so wholesome and cool, and if you ever check out Lyrics Born, it's good.
I'm gonna have to. That was a great, not selling point, but just a great like, this shit's dope, bro. Check it out.
Yeah, it's very funkadelic, very conscious hip hop stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I know. Like, I knew Outkast. That was the only one out of all the shit that you listed. I was like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah, Outkast is good. I like Andre 3000's. Really goes out there with the artistic stuff. Like, I'm sure you've heard the Flute album that came out, or heard of it, maybe.
Probably not. I'm not gonna say that I do, because I don't think I do.
Oh no, I get you. It's really cool, like, because everyone knows him as for like, you know, Outkast, like. But he was just like, I made a whole entire album, and I just played the flute, and I was like, oh, I do that. Shit, that's very cool.
Speaking to my soul, brother.
Yeah. I was very stoked on that. So, I think it's good to, like we were saying earlier, broadening your horizons and, branching out and doing different things because, dude, your brain needs it. If you were just a one pony man? What is the phrase for that? One trick pony?
Yeah,
there it is.
One
trick pony man.
I don't even know what he's trying to say right now.
Yeah, if it was just a one trick pony the whole time and this is all you were known for is like you think that a lot of bands that are one-hit wonders are stoked that they did that, or do you think that they kind of wish that they struck gold and kept making like great art? It's the same thing that goes with passions. Is like, dude, you do a lot, and I respect that because I want to be the same. I want to strive for more, strive to do better, and do the best that I can. We only have this one Mose body. You only have your body, and after that, who knows what happens? I'd like to think energy just goes out into the universe, but that's another subject. I want to do all I can with this body. God damn it. I want to do everything and accomplish everything that I'm inspired to do.
Sure. Absolutely. No, I feel exactly the same way because it's like life is so short, and especially how you were saying to like inspire the next generation of people that are going to like listen to your stuff and be like, yo, like I listened to the song and it like either quote unquote change your trajectory. Maybe they'll see that in hindsight, but at the time it just like helps them through some emotional like trauma that they're going through.
Yeah.
And I think that there's definitely sort of how you were saying like way earlier, the people were like the people behind the scenes pulling the strings, weaving the handlers of the already like not independent artists. They got the agendas that are very much to the detriment of society en masse because of their whole crazy perspective that they have on life. And like those people that are like unaware of those agendas and are going to be severely impacted by them in the future are going to need healing, and the medical industry isn't the one place to do it because the whole pharmaceutical, this is an act, you can look this up, their entire scheme, quote unquote, is to get you on 2 lifetime medications for your entire, as soon as they can get you like injured through whatever means they got, that like they want you on that forever until you die so that they can profit off of your suffering forever. It's like as infinite economic growth happens, especially in the medical industry, that just means more and more people are getting sicker and sicker, and like that's the opposite of what you want as a society. You want people to be robust and healthy and not need doctors.
Yeah.
So like stop believing in them because they're just drug dealers with lab coats. Like
yeah, that's where I go with the same thing. Is like if I've never done drugs in my entire life, why do you expect me to do it legally? No, I don't want to constantly take these things when we've lived thousands of years not doing that already. Like, I'm talking about our species.
Right.
Sure, yes, no, we've made a lot of advancements to get to a point where, we live longer. The life expectancy is skyrocketed, and that's great. That is good. But there's also, it's the same thing. You make it to break it. It's the same thing with skateboarding where it's like, we got to make the best skateboard, but we got to make sure that it doesn't last forever, because if it does, then we don't make any money. I get that. And so they're competing with other ones that are like, oh yeah, no, we'll last forever, or like it'll all be hard to break us. And then eventually they do break. So it's a weird one with that. But yeah, Big Pharma is a big
racket.
Scary, yeah.
For sure. It's especially that whole thing that you're saying. I actually have a song, I think it's in the Patience, it's called Seldom Possesseth, the song that I was saying earlier about patience is virtue, way, that should not hurt you. That whole thing. There's a line in there where it's like Phoebus collusions foreboding redundance. Because I don't know if it was like they originated this, but in the lighting industry, meaning like light bulbs and like electrician, things related to being an electrician, they were making light bulbs that lasted so long that they just decided to stop doing that to make them break down sooner so that they could sell more. And I don't know if this is actually true, the whole, especially when they started making stuff in China where like the quality of the stuff goes down so that they can just sell more, and it's called planned obsolescence. That like
planned obsolescence. Yeah. Obsolescence. Yeah.
Yeah. Words.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Bo Burnham song for you, dude. I love that guy, but yeah, I want to meet him and like have him on. I should write that down.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
Get him on the podcast. That should be dope as fuck, bro.
High aspirations.
Dude, he's only like 6 years older than me. It's so crazy, but it's like you shouldn't. Whoa. Everyone's spiral is different. Like he's not trying to become a shaman in the Amazon, so like he dedicated the whole piano. He's so good at the piano, but that was it. Comparison is the thief of joy. I'm on this weird tangent, but like it just there's no good segue here. Just gonna do it.
Yeah, I get it.
What is art to you?
Art to me it might sound a little generic, but I'd say art is a form of creation that is unique to you and your experiences. And one of my friends, actually, he was saying there's nature and nurture, and there's the part of you that was always in your DNA that has that unique you, and then there's the part of like the nurture where the experiences and the memories and the things that you've had growing up also affect you. So there's a part that was always there, and then there's the part that becomes there and then will affect your offspring because of your experiences, like some crazy, like super crazy stuff. I think that is a big part of you in terms of art reflects your, I guess, your spirit, your soul. It's like a part of you put into something. And man, that might sound really cliche, but it is. I don't know how else to phrase it other than like, yeah, everyone has their own unique experiences in any form of creation. Anything that you put love into, like fucking growing a tree, that's a form of creation. Making this weird pizza skateboard, that's a creation. Like being able to, I don't know, knit, yeah, that's a form of creation. All that's art. I consider all of that art, and it's beautiful. I think that certain things that are like, you know, maybe a tree growing by itself, I wouldn't consider that art. It's its own art, I guess, but it's not a reflection of a human. Like if a human didn't plant that, then it's funny to take credit for something if you didn't put any effort into putting it there. It's like claiming that that's your art. I guess that you could say the same thing with AI art, where it's like,
shit, okay.
It's not art, dude. It's not. It's so hard to say it's art. Yeah, that's gonna piss people off. But it's like, dude, what about it is something that you made? It's maybe a programmed thing that spins out something, but it's kind of like, oh man, yeah, let me take a bunch of paint, put it in a water balloon, shut my eyes and throw it at a fucking wall, and I guess that's art. Yeah, it's like, well, intention, sure, it's there. Right. That is even more art than AI. The AI thing just feels like, dude, you got this thing, this robot or this thing to create something, and then you're claiming it as your own. That's why, to me, that's the part that feels wrong.
Sure. And
because a lot of people do that. Like someone made apparently a lot of money off of a book using all AI art for like children or something. Mm-hmm. And I was just very shocked that someone could do that and just kind of claim it as theirs.
Well, so, because my original gripe was that, like, if you're teaching the program to off of other people's art that they actually made, and then like then you're and you're not paying them for that, that's just straight up theft. And like the quote is like, good artists steal and great artists don't get caught. So I guess if like you don't get caught, then is there ever really a crime if you don't get caught? That's all. That is the whole fucking. Does a tree fall in the woods? Does it make it sound fucking like if it's not being observed, or if you don't get the attention on it, is it really a thing? But I'd say yes, but maybe not. With the way quantum physics is broken down, the fact that like you actually do need to observe something for it to actually exist in reality, because everything other, if it's not being observed, it's like a wave of potential. It's just like, it's almost how in the video games that like behind the trees is just not loaded terrain based on your fucking thing.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. Or like on side scrollers or platformers, I mean. Yeah, like they're erasing everything that's on the left of the screen. Everything on the right of the screen is beginning to load, and like they're coming in, but all that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Now with AI, especially if you're like profiting off of that, if you're like, because I had somebody on here who was to the exact opposite take. Like it is, right, yeah, because he uses it. It's because it's a tool.
Of course he uses it. Of course,
but it's like he, based on his actual like job of being in like data security and like knowing how to like program things, was able to like break it down for me that like if you can, because there's people who are just like punching shit into a prompt, and like if they're gonna post that on Instagram or whatever and be like, oh, I made this with AI, but like, you have to like, it should actually at least there'd be an asterisk like, hey, like I used AI to make this wasn't by my own hands. But I hope they did that in that fucking book. Which if they didn't, that's just lying. And
I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, yeah. If we know about it, I'd hope that they did. I feel like they probably did. Yeah.
Because especially in your immediate circle, like they're all gonna know that you used AI. They're like, dude, we know that you don't actually have the chops to be able to do this.
Oh God, I hope that I never get accused of using AI. I've never done that, but I hope I don't. Like someone's like, oh, well, this is kind of weird pixel art. Why is there an extra finger? Not actually. I don't. If I put an extra finger in any of my art, it's because I wanted to, not because it's AI. which I don't see myself. I need a reason for it to be an extra finger. Anyways,
the extra finger.
That's a scary thing to think too. Is like deep fakes, AI art, or like was this like were your lyrics made by a fucking AI chatbot or something? And it's like, dude, no. Like, sure, I can get inspiration. Okay, that's you know what? I'll cop up to it. I've used it as inspiration for like reference points for art. I've done that. Like on my last album, I wanted to know what would a glowing TV and a well look like, and I just got a good like an idea of where to go. Didn't use any of that. I just like deleted the picture and was just like, oh cool. Now I could go back to it and like look at it, and then I could be like, oh cool. I see how it could do that. All right, that makes sense. Well, you know, there's a lot of things that it doesn't do that I want it to do. I'm going to do the thing I want it to do. Why would I just settle for like, that's the other thing, AI art, you have to settle with what you get.
True.
Unless you want to edit it, I guess.
It's either, you can either edit the actual picture or how the guy was saying, what the fuck's his name? Michael something maybe? No, I don't remember. It's episode 8 maybe, hopefully the thing appears and I don't look like a total idiot, not knowing what I'm talking about. But that, when you can get to that level of technical proficiency where you can actually adjust the seeds and how the tool is actually functioning, then I feel like that's really where like the artistry of AI would come in, when you can,
because there's fine tuning,
right? Versus just because he was saying like when I need a really weird specific picture for his, like he makes like glitch art, it's really fucking dope. I'll show you too.
I love glitch art. That's awesome. Okay, that's kind of making me feel,
yeah, because he's like, damn it, dude, I guess like the VCR, because he would do analog shit and then need a digital picture to make the analog thing, and vice versa, of making digital and then bringing it into analog. And if he's like, if there isn't a picture that I'm looking for on the internet, then I need an AI to generate it for me, because it's like, where else am I in the world am I gonna find some weird demonic looking statue the way I want it to look?
You know, it's kind of sounding more like the way he's using it sounds more like it's a preset effect on his own art in a sense, rather than just all fully AI'd out. Like that is that basically right? I
think so. Sort of, because he does a lot of stuff with like the moon and like Greek architecture, kind of with like pillars and shit. So like,
oh shit, vaporwavy.
Maybe kind of questionable. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It's what the fuck is it? Distorted reality, I think, is his tag on Instagram and.
Oh, I feel like I recognize that. I gotta check that out.
Threads, yeah, that's the other one.
Oh,
the Twitter of Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck?
I know, it keeps telling me, like, hey, everyone's wanting to follow you on Threads. No, I'm good. I don't need it.
Do you want to make your living from your art? Like, is it just like tour and like, because I'm a musician, that's kind of the thing, is sell albums and tour and sell merch. Yeah. Is that like a thing you see on the horizon for yourself?
Oh man, I would love to. That would be really the dream. For sure. I think that I'd have to get into a really good wheelhouse by standing out and having things. I was selling giving away hot sauces if you bought an album or if you shared my album, and I would give away hot sauces or art of my album art, just unframed. And I would love to do that. I'm just trying to find out how to get, before the money comes, you have to have the audience, right? Because the audience has the money, and
I guess.
If the audience, I want it to be the most not manipulative thing ever. Like, you know how people do the whoa thumbnails, and it's like Mr. Beast. Like, oh God, I want to do everything but that. I want to be so unique and so genuine, not unique, but genuine. Sure. I want to do the things that I want to do, and do them correctly. From my own inspiration and from my own like. Sure, maybe I'd be okay with someone, a marketing manager or something like that, but I would, long story short, yes, I would love to tour. I would love to sell albums. I would love to figure out new things to sell. I'm almost thinking like, oh, what if you sold a USB stick that had the whole entire album on it, and that you could plug into your car and it'd autoplay, and the USB stick would be like a USB stick of a skateboard or something cool like that.
Sure.
And I always thought like, oh, you can get so creative with it, and there's so many different ways that you can go about selling your music, selling your merch. And I wouldn't want, I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority of this, but like, let's say with your, it's simple, right? No, not your, your shirt is simple. And then it's just got the simple logo. I know that that's the normal for selling shirts or having shirts. I always thought, why not make it strange and unique? Maybe make it like different patterns all over the shirt and make it wild, because I've noticed that all the shirts I get complimented on are the ones that are more zany and wild, or like have like a meaning to it, like a deep meaning to it. and it doesn't feel like an advertisement. There we go.
Sure.
I want to have merch that would do that, but also at the same time, I don't know. Do people want that? Because people complimented it, but do people want it?
Right. Yeah, that then you're actually getting into the economic, like, what actually sells versus what it just like looks, because it's like, yeah, if you're this is the problem of like being authentic and being genuine, because when you start to try to appeal to a larger audience, do you lose yourself in that like diluting of your authenticity to like try to make it more palatable and sellable to the masses, the lowest common denominator. As much as like I want to hate on them, it's like they're still a human being, and this is actually a whole crazy thing. Unless you want to say something, I'll keep fucking going.
Oh no, I was gonna say, even with that, it's like, dude, sometimes I can kind of understand that, because there's some songs where it's like, oh, that was they like this song off this album the most. Okay, I'm gonna make my next album way more like that sounding.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, the top played song or the top liked song or the one I get the most compliments or talk about. Okay, I'll make sure the next album's like that. And then the next album, I was like, oh, you like that song? I'm going to make sure the next album has more of that. And it's like, it feels a little bit like it, but not to the point where I feel like I'm losing myself. So I do get that.
Yeah, it's almost like a negative feedback loop or positive feedback loop, which either one, where it's like as soon as you're like trying to get more, grow and expand in that way, that if you don't do it, then you're like, you feel like you're gonna like fuck up. Like I've tried to, I really haven't put in the brain power for this yet, but like there's been YouTube videos that like will just randomly like do better than all the other ones, and I'm like, why versus the other ones?
Yeah,
like,
that's what the other thing too is algorithm stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever been zucked?
I don't know, dude. I hope not.
Yeah, it's
probably have. I don't know what
when
it
I
is.
say that, I don't know, like, you ever been zucked? No, it's not that. It's so Zuckerberg. It's like, yeah, on Facebook. Hey, Joe, check it out. My album's out here. It's June 21st. This is my album. I spent a hell of time on this. Check it out. Here's all the links to it. No one sees it.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you wanna just try to get some money? We want some of that money. You're gonna have to advertise for us, homeboy.
Right,
it's like, all right, Zuck, okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'll pay to advertise it. And then you pay to advertise, and you're like, well, we want more money, boy. Come on, give us more of that sweet money you don't have because you're an artist. Like, come on, fuck you, Zuckerberg. That shit drives me crazy, because I've had that happen, and I've had a lot of people be like, oh shit, this is really cool. Like, I'm sure you might have seen it already, but the press in here stickers. Like, I had one over in the Barlow where you go up to it and you press a button that's on the sticker, and then audio plays from the sticker, and it played a clip from my song. And yeah, they made sure that didn't go too far. And I was like posting at the right times, not posting too much to where it's like it'll block some of the people looking at it. But then someone fucking posting a picture of like, I don't know, them just a selfie in the mirror, and it's like, man, that gets more. And it's like, yeah, same for me. Even though I'm like, oh man, if I take a picture of myself and put it on Facebook or something, it's like, that gets more traction than a video that I put hella time and editing into or something like that. So dude, it's funny how it goes.
It's so like, there's just so many strangleholds or bottleneck points for the totalitarian like control regime that's masquerading as the two-party political system, where it's like, as long as you can keep people small and broken down and they fit into the dream machines and cogs where they belong, nobody bats an eye. But as soon as you try to like step out and be like, well, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to like make my own shit, make my own way, there's
by
like, well,
rules.
Right, exactly. It's like, well, if you're not going to do it the way we're going to tell you to do it, you're not going to get our support. It's like, god damn it, dude. Like, I just want to be free. Just want to be free.
Yeah, it's the hardest part to all that is like, okay, what you can't predict. It's kind of like one of my friends was saying it is the Black Swan event. The Black Swan event, known as the internet phenomenon, no one thought that was going to happen and pick up and like be a huge thing. It's like there's so many Black Swan events where it's like something that you look back in retrospect and you're like, oh, that makes complete sense, but you didn't think it or know it was going to happen. So that's a huge part to it. But waiting for that Black Swan event for it to happen is like, what's going to take off? Dude, I don't know yet. I have no idea what's going to take off, but I want to be able to harness that and keep going with it. Like, I really thought the sound sticker was going to take off. It didn't. I really thought, oh, share my album and you get free merch and hot sauce. It kind of got some traction. The most one that happened was like, hey, you get a free hot sauce if you just share my album. Fucking free thing to just press a button, there you go.
Right.
And that one actually took off, but that was also, when you first put something out, people are going to support it the most, and then after that, it's up to them, even if they care or if they're like, I already supported it. He's doing good. I was like, it's cool to see him go for it, but it's also, you're asking a lot out of people to listen to your music. It's like, that's a lot for people, especially if I've heard your first stuff and your first stuff isn't that good.
Yeah, rough.
I'll admit it's not the best. It isn't the best on the first album, but it's about fine tuning over time. So it's funny to think you'd support the first one, but then you're like, he might be getting better, and time has gone by, and he might have be mastering his craft. Not the first one wasn't good.
I just figure if you just get prolific enough and just keep making shit, eventually at some point something's got to give. Especially like doing this podcast, and I'm just gonna keep churning out episodes until I look back and there's like 100 or fucking 50 and then 100 and then whatever. Like, and eventually at some point I'm gonna link up with somebody who's like already got slightly more attention than I got, and like it's just gonna like keep going and keep building and keep going.
I mean, the good thing about that too that helps is kind of like the same thing if you were to make music with another person. Well, your whole thing is with other people, so like that's going to be really good to have another person and another name with it, and like I'll be sharing your video, and like people before me would share their videos, so it works really well for that, and there's no way you can't gain traction. So that is actually good because you make more connections, you gain broader audience and gain more like, oh shit, this is interesting, I like this, because podcasts are big right now. So.
Yeah, I don't think they're ever going to go away because people are just tired of listening to the same fucking like 2 or 3 radio stations, fucking TV stations of like, this is what the world is and this is what we say it is.
God,
like,
yeah.
We're like, oh fuck, dude. Like, can anybody who's like either slightly more entertaining or actually telling me the closer to the truth of reality, can I listen to that person versus like knowing I'm listening to propaganda on the fucking news?
Yeah, yes, and that's the thing is like it's so like, oh god, where's the money? Okay, come on, I can smell the money. Where is it coming in from? I can smell you getting paid out to say this.
Right.
Like, who's paying you off? Big Pharma or like some political parties or some shit like that. It's like, oh god, everything's so phony that it's scary, and the misinformation that's out there, it's making us all kind of numb. And it's like, I can't help it, man. I don't know what to believe, and that's probably a big part of what they want. They want me not exhausted of it.
Let's just do this, and then I'll edit some shit maybe.
Sure.
Does religion or spirituality play a part in your artistic endeavor?
I guess to start off, I'm spiritual agnostic, I guess. Like, hey, if there is a God, fuck yeah. If there isn't, well, I hope that there's some energy. The last thing I want to be is atheist, because the fact that, oh, so nothing happens. Oh, that's fine and dandy. I don't like that. I want something to happen. I want constant universal like energy to flow out forever. I don't want to just not exist. I don't want consciousness to just stop. I want to keep existing. And through that, I figure, okay, if like I said earlier, if my soul is put into my art and I put that out there, the more positive energy, the more consciousness, the more thought-provoking stuff, the more that it could change lives and maybe hopefully put other people on that same path, or like, get people to at least open up their mind to it and like, oh, no, I might not agree, but this is really good information or really good thought or opinion. And I think that helps me feel like, okay, I'm doing something with my soul by putting out this positivity, by putting out this just conscious hip-hop music. I think that's so good. Like, people should question things. And I think we take things as face value, and, maybe you can end up like me where I just think everything's misinformation because I'm always questioning the information I get, and that could be bad. But honestly, I think being able to question things is more of a solution than it is a problem. And maybe being on the fence about something before full belief, I know that this person's bad. It's like, it's so polar that's not going to get us where we want. You got to open your mind up. You're going to get old thinking you believe everything, thinking that these are facts. And I mean, hell, I'm saying this like it's a fact. It's ironic.
Dude.
You're going to. It's a known fact. You're going to get old if you keep thinking like this. I like the idea of putting a piece of me into this and hoping that can also live on forever. If I don't live on forever, or something like something happens to me, it's like, I was just thinking about this earlier today, where it's like, I hope that part of me lives on forever and isn't forgotten. And I think that a lot of people should have reasons to be remembered that are positive and thought-provoking that might help somebody out later on in the future. And I guess that's my version of an answer to that question.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think that's a perfect segue to the final question that we're gonna have time for here.
Yeah.
God is willing. We pray, hopefully not, that when I hit the stop recording button and we were both to cease to exist as soon as I did that, or die, whichever way you want to say it. Yeah. What nugget of wisdom would you want to leave behind as like a legacy? If you could, especially if you could get into all 7 or 8 billion brains, like what would you want to like leave as your like final message of like, or just a nugget of wisdom that you think is very poignant or important for people to like truly embody to become the best versions of themselves?
Well, I'm not going to move from this position because I'm going to think about it for a second, so it might be a jump cut.
All right. Oh, I mean, I could go first. No worries.
Let's hear yours.
Yeah, I'm just going to read this plaque that's on this bench because you probably can't. Yeah, you can't even see it in the video, but there's a plaque right here because there's a different plaque on the other bench. But I sometimes enjoy a view from on high, like an eagle over the world I fly. We don't know how to say this name. Emily, I guess. Amelie. Amelie.
I think Emily, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. She who makes life worth living. That is someone who definitely sounds like they're in love with that woman, whether that be a boy or a girl. They definitely sound like they love that person to the moon and back, or to the Bermuda Triangle and back. Because for me, I don't know why it makes me think of Amelia Earhart, but it does.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what I'm gonna have as my thing today. That true, deep, meaningful, authentic, vulnerable love is the most positive thing that you can make a change in your life for. So you have to like do the actual real inner work and introspection of like, hey, this is what I love, and I know these are the reasons why I love it on like the most deep fundamental level of my person and my soul and my spirit, and I'm gonna stand with it and protect it and create more of it because it's just what I'm here to do as a person.
My tidbit would be that if you're seeing things in life that are making it to where you don't feel like you have hope and you don't feel happy and everything's ugly in the world and you're just scared of the world going to shit, and like we have all this propaganda getting us to be like, be afraid, look, there's nukes everywhere, and oh, these wars over here and like all this violence. Sure, there's bad in the world, yeah. But have you ever thought about all the beauty in the world that does happen that you don't subject yourself to? Humans are designed to look at fear, because that's, we get ourselves out of those scenarios. We don't get ourselves out of the scenarios that are beautiful. So we don't have to think about that all the time. We shouldn't have to think about it all the time because we don't have so much beauty in the world, and there's not like any huge amount of danger that we're constantly in every single day. We have every right to be able to surround ourselves with beauty, and I think that this was the perfect spot to be like surrounded by negative ions, which are good, and surround ourselves in sunshine with full of vitamin D and happiness. And today was a good, beautiful day, and it's still going. And to surround yourself with beauty, to surround yourself with good people is so priceless because it gives you hope. It makes you realize, oh shit, there is more to life than work, or like, oh, it's not all doom and gloom, it's not all rainy days, it's not, I hate men, all men are bad. I've heard that quite a bit throughout the past years, and it's like, man, that perspective is bad because we need each other. Women and men need each other. It's not so polar. I think there's beautiful men out there. You seem like a beautiful man. You're a beautiful soul, and I've been enjoying this so far. I've only met you hanging with him for an hour or so, and it's been great. And on top of that, getting outside of your screen is so important.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. That's what we're gonna end on. Thank you for tuning in. Where can the people find you, Mo?
Hey, you got it. 1S. Yeah, no, it's either Mo or Moses.
I just started the first part of the word, and I'm like, wait.
You can find me, you can find me as Mose Portal on Spotify. We'll put a QR code right here. Oh, actually, I don't even know if it's going to work on a screen, but whatever. We can put a QR code here.
If you can use it to log in on TikTok, you can scan it on the fucking computer screen. Yeah. I believe.
Yeah, so we'll put a PNG of that on the screen, and it'll take you to my link tree, and you could go to Spotify, Bandcamp, Amazon, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and that's it. That's basically it. Support my music or buy a CD, I don't know, if you want. If you just check it out and see if it's your thing. It's conscious hip-hop music that's very bassy and has flute elements, and it's fun. working on more stuff soon. So stay tuned. Keep tuned? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Tune in, tap in. Namaste, have a great day. Slav shun if it's nighttime, and in any other way, be well. Be good, do good, feel good. Be the light, travel light, live light. Until next time.
Peace.